Hello and welcome again on next episode of this mini-series on discrete choice experiments, and it is driven by requests from my students and also from the other listeners, those who watch these videos on YouTube. And some of you asked me about how can I know which of the attributes is more important than the others, because what I have here in this analysis, I can show what levels are important within an attribute, but how can I compare the attributes? There are different ways how you can do it, and one of the books tells us that you have to look at all the differences between the coefficients, logistic coefficients, the lowest and the highest one, and then divide them through the sum of all other attributes, lowest. So this range between the lowest and the highest value. And if you make this would indicate that there is the bigger the discrepancy between the attributes, the higher is the meaning of these attributes. I propose you a different option how to resolve it. We published it in the paper, in the AMCIS paper on digital transformation and social costs of digital transformations. What I want to show you is how we did it. First of all, I have it from the previous one experiment. We have to select the cases. We select all cases. And we also go to data. And we made previously comparison. That is why we don't need to compare the data. We just want to have the original data. And we run the logistic regression with all our independent variables, and the dependent variable is the final decision. Click on OK. And now we're interested in one specific table here, which is the model summary. And we're interested in this R squared, which we have here, which is 0.089, which indicates that about 9% of variance in the dependent variable has been explained by our independent variables. So these variables which we have down, like organizational slowdown, organizational restructuring, organizational process change, organizational resources change, and so on, they have altogether explained about 9% of variance. It is not so much actually in the social sciences. We prefer models where we have 15 or 20% variance explained, but I've seen the papers with lower R squared values which have been published, because if you can indicate something interesting, and even if the change is minimal, it is still statistically significant, it is also a contribution to science. What we want to look now at, we want to look at each of these attributes, so all levels within one attribute separately, and look at this table at the end. In how much can we explain with it? So we just take this table, copy it, then copy the values, go to Excel, create a new Excel sheet, enter your variables here, and here we can, let's format them nicely. And this is the attribute organizational costs. This is the attribute personal costs. This is the attribute relational costs. And finally, we have the efficiency gain. It is a scalable variable, efficiency gain. And now we try to add them one by one into our model and see what is going to happen with it. So we go to Logistic Regression and sort out all the items apart from those which relate to organizational costs. Click OK and go to the table, and you see that the organizational costs have explained less than 1% of variance in our dependent variable, which is here 0.002. Then we repeat the same regression. We take away these items, take the personal costs, put them in, click OK, go to the table, which is where was it? Here it is. 2.7% of variance is explained by personal costs, 0.027. Now we go to the next attribute, which is the relational costs. Test it, and we have, where is the test here, 1%, so 0.010. Up, we have the German version here, so it should be comma 0.10. And now we test the efficiency gain, and we will know what is the most important attribute in this regard. Click on OK, and we have 5 percent of variance explained within our variable, which is 0.05. Again, the comma. And now you see what is the highest value, which of the attributes was of highest importance. It seems that efficiency gain is the attribute which is of highest importance with regard to decision on a digitization project, whether people would like to have it or not. The second one would be the personal cost. The third one would be the relational cost, and only later we have the organizational cost. This is how I would do it, and this would just indicate that the items within this attribute explained at least 10 times as more variance in the dependent variable than the organizational costs. This is how I would argue. If you want to know, if you want to refer to the paper, it is the paper by me, Eugene Bogodistov and Nadine Ostern, and it was published in the AMCIS Proceedings, America's Conference on Information Systems in 2019. You can find it. If you don't, let me know, and I'll post a link to this paper in the comment section. I hope it was helpful. Good luck with your research, and make something interesting out of your discrete choice experiment. Bye-bye.